Welcome to Book Reviews. I am George, and today I'm excited to talk about my first nonfiction book on my channel. And the book I chose is Rebel Without a Crew by Robert Rodriguez. Now, you might know Robert Rodriguez. He is a filmmaker. He's made a lot of good movies over the years. The first film of his I saw, I believe, was Desperado years ago, and I remember really liking that movie. But the movie that put him on the map for me was From Dusk Till Dawn. I remember watching that in the theater, and I just thought it was hilarious and fun and just well made. And from that day on, I was a fan of his, and I've watched a lot of his movies ever since. Now, I did not know that this book existed because apparently I've been living under a rock for 20 years. This came out in 1995. But the other day I was at Barnes & Noble, and I was going through the shelf, and I came across it. And I looked at it and I said, okay, Robert Rodriguez put a book out. I didn't even know. And I looked at it and I saw what it was about, and I was immediately intrigued. So he started his career off at a young age. He was 23 years old, and he made his own film, a film called El Mariachi. And it was a low-budget movie that he made for just $7,000. And he raised the money himself, and he went out and he shot this film all by himself, doing all the work, didn't have a crew. He just put a cast together of friends and went out and wrote a script and made this movie. And his motivation at the time was the idea that he wanted to try to get this movie into a Spanish video market and hopefully double his money. He thought if he could make a movie for under $10,000 and sell it to the Spanish video market for around 20, he can double his money and then go out and make another movie. And he was just using this as practice. He wanted to teach himself the craft of filmmaking because he was basically just an amateur filmmaker at the time. And so he did this. He went out and he made this movie, and when he decided to take it to Hollywood and try to sell it to a distributor, it got noticed and it blew up. And it launched him into a career that has been going ever since. And so this book, Rebel Without a Crew, is a chronicle of that story. It's written in a journal fashion. So apparently when he was doing all this, he kept a journal, and that's what this book is. It's journal entries of his time when he was conceiving of the movie, he was raising the money, he shot the movie, he edited it, and he took it to Hollywood. He kept a record of all that, and he put it together in this book. And it's really fascinating because as you're reading this, it's almost kind of like you are experiencing that with him. You're going along that journey with him, and it's just amazing, and I really enjoyed it a lot. Like I said, I am a fan of his, and to hear his story about how he became a filmmaker by doing this really wild thing, make a feature-length 90-minute movie for $7,000, and it be excellent, and it get everyone's attention in Hollywood, and it led to him getting an agent, and him getting a film deal with a studio, and it just, like I said, it took off and it made his career. Very compelling, interesting stuff to read. I recommend it if you are a film student or you're an aspiring filmmaker, you're a young filmmaker. You really need to get this book and check it out because it's very inspiring. I wish I would have known about it in 1995 and read it back then. I think I would have gotten a lot out of it, but I'm glad I discovered it now, and I'm glad I read it now because it was just an enjoyable ride to go along with. So again, the book is Rebel Without a Crew, Robert Rodriguez. Great filmmaker, very compelling book, fun read, and I highly recommend it. So again, thanks for taking the time to tune in. I really appreciate it. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. And until the next time, have a good one.